If you're over 40 and you've been doing yoga for years, but it feels like things are actually getting tighter, it's not your practice and you don't need more stretching. You need strategic release. It's what you're not doing that causes one side to always feel tighter. It's why your low back feels grippy, especially in the morning. It's why that core that everyone's talking about is elusive. Stay with me and I'll teach you about what I call the perfect warm-up. If stretching's only giving you 20 minutes of relief and then your body is scrunching up again, this is what you need. If you've been practicing yoga for years, but suddenly it feels like it doesn't last, like you get relief for 15 or 20 minutes and then your body is scrunchy and tight all over again, you need something different. This is especially true if you seem to always be tight on one side. Your lower back has started to feel grippy and achy, especially in the mornings. If when you do core work, you seem to engage everything but your core, especially your hip flexors, your neck, or your jaw, all of these are signs that you need to release connective tissue. Chronic tightness, especially for yogis over 40, is rarely an issue of flexibility. It tells the tale of binding, adhering, and a lack of force transmission through connective tissue. And trying to stretch connective tissue is like trying to untie a knot by pulling on it. Things only get more bound up. Instead, you've got to go in there and work things out with precision tools and big sweeping movements. That's what I'll teach you today, but first, let's talk about your connective tissue. Your body is not tight randomly. It's tight strategically in an attempt to help you. That's why when you stretch a tight muscle, you'll get temporary relief, but then your webbing, your connective tissue will pull you right back into the same postural patterns and movement habits. For example, if your deep core is offline, your low back will grip. If your outer hips are weak, there will be pull on your knee. If one side is tight and strong and always used, the other side will become long and loose. You can't stretch out these issues. You have to retrain your tissues. So think of your connective tissue like a spider web. If you pull on one thread, the whole structure will reorganize. And that's what will happen when you roll and release. You'll be able to reorganize the webbing of your body. For example, you can release your right outer hip and your left shoulder, left jaw, left side of your neck will open up too. Or you release your psoas and you can finally access your deep core. Everything in your body is in relationship, and the web of relationship is your connective tissue. As we age, the structure of connective tissue changes. It can dry out, it can become matted and adhered. If you've had surgery or injuries, scar tissue lays down randomly and can pull on the webbing too. Then the transfer of weight and force gets clunky. Some areas get grippy and others get weak. You can get wobbly or experience traffic jams in your body. Now, think of the stuck, matted, sticky, adhered, desiccated areas of your connective tissue like roadblocks or potholes in the pathway of your body. And your movement is you traveling down a pathway, and your body will take the pathway of habit. It's just like a commute. You don't wake up in the morning and think about what pathway you're going to take. You take the same tried and true route, and you will take it without even thinking about it. Now, you might encounter traffic or construction or a train or something, but it doesn't matter because you're already on the way. Same thing with your body. Your body takes default pathways, even if it's inconvenient, even if it's inefficient, even if it's causing pain, even if you want to do something different. And stretching doesn't interrupt that default setting, but rolling and releasing will. And the tools I use for rolling and releasing are myofascial release balls, not foam rollers, and somatic releasing techniques. I call these tools together a perfect warm-up. The myofascial release balls allow you to spot treat areas of tightness, adherence, binding, overcompensating. And the somatic releasing resets your nervous system and opens up broad swaths of connective tissue, like whole kinetic chains. Think of this work like clearing an Etch-a-Sketch. You move things out so you have a clean slate to work with. And the body is also more open, more receptive to whatever you want to do. You can feel the proof in your movement patterns. Lunges feel even. Squats are smooth. Your knees have glide. Your core turns on without gripping in other areas. You'll get a taste of this with the outer hip release practice. You'll do myofascial release, and then somatic release, and then common poses to notice the difference in your body. This preparation is the missing link for many of us, and it's what creates true transformation. Let me give you an example with a pattern I see frequently in students and clients. I have students and clients who have practiced yoga for 10, 15, 20 years. Nothing's changed in their practice, but things are changing in their bodies. There's like a buildup of old habits and patterns, and the body is starting to talk to them in the language of pain. So a client comes in and she says, core is hard. I really feel it in my lower back, especially my right side, and my right hip is always tight. And then when my right hip is tight, it starts to pull on my right knee. My left shoulder and left neck are always tight too. I get headaches occasionally. And when I try to step forward with my right leg from down dog into a lunge, that side is grippy and grabby and clunky. And when I try to balance in Warrior 3, my right side is super wobbly. These sound like several different problems, but her pain and the challenges she's experiencing are painting the picture of her webbing. And I can see that her deep core is offline. Her lower back has started to grip to protect her spine. Her right side is particularly grippy and grabby because it's her dominant side. Because there's so much pull in the right hip, she feels it in the left neck, left shoulder. Her movement is getting more and more restricted, which shows up in the stepping forward and the balance pose. Stretching only brings temporary relief because it doesn't address the deep instability or the binding that is happening. When she adds load with resistance band or weights, the compensating patterns become more obvious. Her right hip gets tighter, her lower back gets achier, and she gets more gripping and grabbing in the left shoulder, neck, and jaw. So what do we do about it? I would prescribe a perfect warm-up where she's opening up the outer hips with myofascial release balls, probably the psoas line too, and then somatic releasing movements where she's opening up the cross-body tissues. Her breathing during the somatic releasing poses will start to turn on her engine of true core. As she releases and repatterns the connective tissue, these seemingly unconnected hiccups in the body will start to resolve themselves. Things like stepping into the lunge will feel smooth, her deep core will come online, and her balance will get better quickly. Then when she adds load with resistance band or hand weight, she'll be able to build sustainable strength. This is one pattern. There are many as there are bodies, but this is a common one, and the outer hip release practice will speak to it. If you want to build your own perfect warm-up, here are the questions I ask when I'm working with a client. Where is there gripping, which tells me what's overactive or bound up? What feels hard to access, which tells me what's offline or underutilized? What is sticky or stuck? What movements are clunky? Where is there lack of flow? The answers to these questions start to reveal the pattern of the webbing of your body. Then you can start to release and create openings for new pathways, not just physically, but also neurologically. Most long-term yogis don't need more stretching, especially if it feels like you're actually getting tighter. One side is always taking over. Strength work feels like you're on the verge of injury. These are all signals your webbing, your connective tissue needs releasing. Use the myofascial release balls for spot treatment, the somatic releasing to open up new pathways and possibilities for moving. In Asana Strong, every session, every practice begins with this type of reset. With one-to-one clients, this can get powerfully precise. We identify your patterns, build the perfect warm-up, and then with that strong, solid foundation, we build strength. Try the outer hip release practice next, or if you want a custom designed warm-up, schedule a call with the link below. We'll talk about what I recommend for your body, and if you're interested, I'll tell you more about Asana Strong. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. See you soon.